every successful man needs a Khadija. So the first person to embrace Islam was a woman. The first person to die for Islam was a woman, Sumayya. The greatest scholar of Islam was a woman, Aisha. The person who loved the Prophet the most was a woman. Who was that woman? Fatima. The person who made the biggest sacrifice for Islam in one day was a woman, Khansa. One of the greatest fighters in Islamic history was a woman, Khawla bint al-Aswar. She fought on the back of horses, killed many kuffar, and spurred the mujahideen on to go on.
You know the role of the Muslim women when it comes to the ummah, someone described it or gave it a very beautiful comparison. It's like the role of the archers in the Battle of Uhud. They were not in the forefront, they were not in the thick of the action, but they had the most important position. They guarded the army, and if they moved, the whole army would be uncovered and the whole army would be defeated. The archers, when they left out trying to get the spoils, the army was uncovered and it was defeated. But same thing, when you leave this most important position to go out for the spoils, to go out for the extra paycheck or something like that, you leave the army, you leave the ummah uncovered. So you're the silent heroes. You're the ones doing all the great work. You're the backbone and the structure. You're the ones who teach the children and teach the Muslim men courage and honesty and truthfulness and patience and perseverance and kindness and confidence in themselves. You're the one who will do that, not your babysitter and not the nursery school who will only teach them to sing nursery rhymes. And it's not the television who will raise your children, it's not the babysitter, and it's not the daycare center. Allah Azza wa Jal honored you, the Muslim woman, and so do not allow anyone to dishonor you. Allah Azza wa Jal gave you this great honor. Allah Azza wa Jal commanded everyone to respect you. Everybody was commanded to respect you. Just from the normal men, from the average man, from the man in public, to not look at you, to lower their gaze, to not make you an object. So sisters in Islam, then you have a special place and you have a pivotal role. Allah Azza wa Jal has given you the greatest position and the greatest role in this ummah. And it's not the position of being a secretary or being this or being that, but it's being the one who is the backbone and part of the integral part of the success of this ummah and the strength of this ummah. So don't be ashamed of that. This great position Allah Azza wa Jal has given you. Your husband has been asked to honor you and to respect you, or commanded more correctly. The Prophet ﷺ in the farewell pilgrimage, in front of 100,000 of the companions, he said, "Ala wastawsu bin nisa'i khayran. Ala wastawsu bin nisa'i khayran." He reminds the men to take good care of their women. So the husband commanded to take care of the woman. The children commanded to take care of the woman. And in the hadith in Ibn Majah and Tirmidhi, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Khayrukum khayrukum li ahli wa ana khayrukum li ahli." The best of you is the best of you to his family, and I'm the best of you to his family. The Prophet ﷺ said to the Muslim woman, "Take care of your home, for that is your jihad." That means it's a very important position, and it's more important than the extra paycheck and more important than so many other things. The extra paycheck and the wealth you get from that can't compare the reward you'll get if your son becomes a great scholar of Islam, or if your daughter learns her religion and teaches it to other women. Just look at the role of Khadija radiallahu anha. And where would Islam be and where would the Meccan da'wah be without Khadija radiallahu anha? Even when the Prophet ﷺ, before he became a prophet, when he loved to go and meditate and do the tahannuth, sit in the cave for a long time, sometimes he would stay for a month, she would send the servants there to give him food, so he wouldn't have to interrupt himself and come back all the way to the city to get some food. She would send servants to him to give him food, but look at the instructions she would give them, because she knows her husband ﷺ is dedicated to something and wants to do something. She would tell them, just put the food at the mouth of the cave and leave. Don't walk in and distract and talk about the news and what's happening in the village. She would tell them that. Look at the attention to detail. Look at how when the Prophet ﷺ came back and he was afraid and he said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, cover me. She covered the Prophet ﷺ. And she waited until he calmed down, then she asked him what happened. And if this were to happen, and the woman is not wise, you come in, there's a calamity, you say, cover me. She said, what for? What happened? Cover me. What happened? No, you won't cover you until you tell me what's going on. Now you have two calamities instead of one. Look at her analysis when the Prophet ﷺ explained to her what happened. She immediately saw this can't be from the shaitan, it can't be from the jinn. She analyzed it quickly, that you are the Prophet of Allah. Why? Because of the goodness of the Prophet ﷺ. Ibn Athir mentions in his book Al-Kamil fi al-Tarikh how a Muslim woman was captured by the Romans in the city of Amuriya, and they tried to dishonor her, and some will tell you that they hit her. So she screamed out, Wa Mu'tasimah. Mu'tasim is the Khalifa. She said, Oh Mu'tasim. So then a man came and brought this news to Al-Mu'tasim. They said that he told him that a woman was hurt or injured or insulted by the kuffar, and she called your name, Wa Mu'tasimah. So he said, Labbaik, I'm here at your call. I'm here to answer your call. And he gathered an entire army and conquered and destroyed and trampled the enemy and took over the entire city, and he freed that one woman. This was the case. This is how the Muslim woman was honored in our history. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal has honored you.
The warrior behind the veil, a woman. Women were at the forefront of this Islamic awakening, side by side with the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.